Twice wasn't a group that everyone believed in at the beginning. They were called too cute, too basic, and not strong enough to lead the next generation. But in less than a decade, they became one of the most awarded, most loved, and most consistent K-pop groups in history.
Congratulations to Twice on being honored with the Breakthrough Award for 2023 Billboard Women in Music. Woo!
This is the story of Twice, a group that went from underestimated trainees to global icons. Twice's journey began with 16, a survival show created by JYP Entertainment in 2015. It wasn't just a test of talent, but of character, teamwork, and stage presence. From the very beginning, the girls were under intense public scrutiny. The final lineup was controversial. Some viewers weren't convinced by the picks. Others felt the group lacked impact compared to other rising rookies. Their debut track, like Ooh-Ah, got people talking, but didn't fully win them over yet. It wasn't until Cheer Up dropped in 2016 that Twice exploded. The song became a national hit. It swept charts, dominated music shows, and introduced one of the most iconic lines in K-pop history. Then came TT. The dance, the pose, the melody, everything about it clicked with fans of all ages. It wasn't just a song anymore. It became a part of pop culture. Kids were doing the TT pose. Idols were copying it on variety shows. It was clear by then, Twice had become a force to watch. From 2016 to 2018, Twice owned the industry. They became the first girl group to win Daesung 3 years in a row. Every comeback during that era became a cultural moment. Knock Knock kept their momentum going with its playful concept and catchy hooks. Signal, though divisive at first, showcased their willingness to experiment while still dominating charts. Likey gave them their first music video to surpass 500 million views, with its bright visuals and relatable themes about social media. What Is Love resonated deeply with younger fans, mixing a fun concept with a nostalgic nod to iconic love scenes from movies. And Yes or Yes brought a more confident energy to their image, reinforcing that they could evolve their charm without losing what made them beloved in the first place. They weren't just releasing songs. They were setting trends, shifting culture, and dominating the charts. They topped every music show, led brand rankings, and became synonymous with success. You couldn't turn on the TV without seeing a Twice member in a commercial. Their faces were everywhere. Snack ads, cosmetics, fashion, telecom. They weren't just idols anymore. They were the definition of mainstream popularity. They were widely known as the nation's girl group, a title that cemented their place in Korean pop culture history. In 2017, they entered the Japanese market. Most groups took years to build a fan base there. Twice, they went platinum almost instantly. They sold out Tokyo Dome. Their Japanese albums topped the charts. They weren't just Korea's girl group anymore. They were Asia's. While many doubted if Twice could grow beyond their original image, the group was already preparing for their next chapter. Their sound matured. Fancy, released in 2019, marked a bold transition into a more sophisticated concept, both visually and musically. It was one of their biggest hits, signaling that Twice was ready to take on a more mature direction without losing their identity. Albums like Feel Special, Eyes Wide Open, and More continued that evolution and showed a different side of Twice. The vocals hit harder. Their performances carried a new level of sophistication. Feel Special in particular struck a chord. It was emotional, honest, and a reflection of what they had gone through. Gio later shared how much the lyrics meant to them as a group. Then came The Feels, their first full English track. It was a risky move, but it paid off. The song debuted on the Billboard Hot 100, making Twice one of the few K-pop girl groups to do so. They performed on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and started building a wider international fan base. Their third world tour was on a whole different level. The visuals, the production, the energy, it all came together when they sold out SoFi Stadium. Selling out SoFi Stadium marked a huge milestone in their career. For a girl group from Korea and Japan to perform at a US stadium like SoFi, it showed how far they had come and how strong their global presence had become. And they didn't stop there. In just a span of months, they returned with back-to-back hits: Scientist, Talk That Talk, Set Me Free, Moonlight Sunrise, and I Got You. Each comeback showed something different: more control, more confidence, more ambition. Twice didn't just break into the global market. They walked in, took the mic, and made it theirs. Twice's image evolved too. They weren't just known for their cuteness anymore. They became fashion icons, luxury ambassadors, and powerful individuals in their own right. Each member carved their own path. Nayeon became the face of Givenchy Beauty. Sana endorsed Misha and Aspar. Mina joined SK2. Tuyu represented Vise. Jihyo signed with Milk Touch. Dayun joined Apiu. Momo worked with Onitsuka Tiger and Won Jungyo. Their group endorsements expanded globally. They became the face of Scarlet Whitening and Pearly Gates. Twice also inspired the next generation. Groups like IVE, Les Seraphim, and New Jeans often cite them as role models. Twice showed how to last, how to grow, and how to do it together. Twice holds over 100 music show wins and more than 100 awards, including multiple Daesungs. Their trophy shelf is more than just numbers. It's a reflection of their consistency and dominance across generations. Few groups have maintained their relevance this long without major changes. In 2022, all 9 members renewed their contracts. That almost never happens in K-pop. It showed not only their unity, but also the strength of their bond and belief in the group's future. Their solo ventures proved they were more than just a group. They were individually powerful too. Nayeon's solo debut topped the charts and sparked massive buzz. She didn't stop there. She returned with a second solo album that once again topped charts and drew praise for her stage presence and vocal charm. Jihyo's album Zone showcased her unique tone and creative direction. Tuyu also stepped into the solo spotlight, making her solo debut and continuing to grow her presence across Asia. Dayun entered acting with confidence, picking up roles in major film projects that showed off her versatility. Meanwhile, the trio of Mina, Sana, and Momo formed the unit Miss Samo and made their debut with the album Masterpiece, which featured the hit track Do Not Touch that gained massive attention. They later followed it up with another mini-album featuring the title track Identity. Misamo's momentum kept growing, proving that the unit had become a success of its own. And what's more impressive, they did all this without any scandals, without losing a single member, and without disappearing from the spotlight. They remained present, growing with each year. In 2024, they're still charting with One Spark, I Got You, and Strategy. Still touring, still evolving. Their ability to stay relevant and powerful this deep into their career is something few idol groups can claim. Twice isn't just a successful K-pop group, they've become one of the greatest girl groups the industry has ever seen. Twice didn't take shortcuts. They didn't ride trends or rely on hype. They earned every milestone with hard work, resilience, and teamwork. They debuted at a time when the K-pop landscape was already filled with giants. But instead of being overshadowed, they built their own lane. Song by song, stage by stage. Through eras of cute, elegant, powerful, and experimental, Twice kept evolving without losing their identity. They stayed together when many groups couldn't. They became a blueprint for how to last in K-pop. And nearly a decade later, they're not just still here, they're still winning, still growing, still leading. Twice dare to be bold. Will you?